welcome to all the scholars and teachers philosophy to this Sunday webinar. Today we have an academic program with Dr. Priyanka Agrawal.
Yeah,
She will speak on intellectual property rights. But before inviting Dr. Priyanka Agrawal, we have a condolence meeting for Professor Gorang Charan Naik. Friends, you all must be aware of the sad demise of Professor Gorang Charan Naik, the senior most professor of philosophy of our country, who died recently 2 days back at the age of 89 in his Bhubaneswar residence. The passing of Professor Naik is a great loss to the philosophy family of our country. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family members. And today, we all should express our deep sense of condolence to him. And we have with our convener and admin Professor Pramod Kumar Das. And you might see the photograph of Professor G.C. Naik at the residence of Professor Pramod Kumar Das. Professor Pramod Kumar Das has given his floral tribute to Professor Pramod Kumar Das. May I request Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the admin of philosophy family, to light the lamp of knowledge at his photograph for, as a mark of deep condolence to his soul. Professor Pramod Kumar Das. Let us have 1 minute silence, and we all should pray God to take the soul of Professor Naik to eternal abode. Over. Thanks so much to all the professors of philosophy for extending their prayer to Professor G.C. Naik. And Professor G.C. Naik is known to all the teachers of philosophy of our country. You know, Professor G.C. Naik joined PG Department of College University as a lecturer in 1958, retired as a professor and head in the year 1995. He has a lot of contribution to the philosophic reflection of the world. He has published many books. Some of the books may be announced: Philosophical Reflection, Essays in Analytical Philosophy, Madhyamik Sunyata, understanding religious phenomena, evil karma reincarnation, Bharatiya Darshan, Upanishad Darshan, and many other books. All the books have inspired the thousand scholars of our country. And Professor Naik has been awarded by different platforms of our country. He has been awarded with the Rashtriya Sanskrit Award. He has been awarded with the Woodburn Prize in 1954. He has been awarded as a Lifetime Achievement Award by ICPR and
Uh,
many more awards. And Professor G.C. Naik, besides the professor and head of the PG Department of Philosophy, Utkal University, he has joined and worked as Vice Chancellor of Sri Jagannath Sanskrit University, Puri. He has been he has been the prestigious position in Nagarjuna University, and he has worked as senior fellow, first senior fellow of Odisha in ICPR New Delhi. He has worked as a senior fellow in Institute of Advanced Study in Simla.
mm,
He has worked in University of Canada. He has worked as UGC Emeritus Fellow in Banaras Hindu University, and he has worked in different organizations of our country and extended his wisdom to thousands of students of philosophy and Sanskrit and other branches. He has a multiple personality. He's a great scholar of philosophy. He's a great scholar of Sanskrit. He's a great orator, great columnist who has written so many books in both in English language, in Sanskrit language, and Odia language. And I don't want to explore all his philosophical wisdom within a short span of time. I simply express my deep sense of gratitude and condolence to him. So today, on this occasion, we all are here. I request all the senior professors present in this webinar to express their Professor Jishi Naik. May I request first Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the Albino Philosophy family, to express his prayer. Then others are requested to um, reflect their prayers. Professor Das. Professor Pramod
Thank
Kumar
you,
Das.
thank you, Dr. Maharana. Um, Actually, this is a very sad news that Professor Jishi Naik is no more with us. Many things about him we are discussing. He has written many books, and he is a very good orator, and he is a multi-talented scholar, etc. But one thing I shall say that he is a very loving personality, and he is a man of wisdom. That means he justified in his life the meaning of philosophy. The philosophy of love, philosophy is love of wisdom. Actually, he was a lover of wisdom. Actually, he was a man of wisdom. This is too much. This is enough about a philosopher. How many years you served in any university, or how many books you have written, how many PhD scholars you have produced. All these things are very common things. But the distinct personality, distinct quality of a philosopher, of a teacher, is that whether he has Shraddha or not. Whenever he was invited to this forum, our philosophy family forum, he was behaving like a child. That give me a slot, give me a date. I shall speak on this topic and that topic at this age. That matters. At this age, above 90, he was interested to deliver series of talks in this forum and through online. So that is unique. He was a rare personality. Everybody will remember him, and he will always remain in our memory. This much I will say. He was a very loving personality, and we all love him. Thank you, sir.
Alok Tendon sir is there.
Okay,
Brindavan sir.
Brindavan sir is there. The
Brindavan
Brindavan
sir.
sir.
Brindavan sir. Yes.
This morning that Professor Nayak is no more. And then I kept contact with
Hello,
two, three people
hello, hello,
to get.
hello.
Is it, is it audible?
Mahapatra sir,
Am I audible,
Audible?
Thomas sir?
you will speak later, sir. Brindavan sir is speaking, then you will speak. Okay, sir.
Thomas sir,
Is
am
it
I audible?
audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Brindavan
You
Mahapatra sir.
speak.
Okay,
Brindavan,
okay.
Mahapatra, please speak.
Yes, yes, yes,
Sir,
yes, sir. Yes.
Brindavan Mahapatra sir will speak later. Sir, Brindavan
Yes,
Mahapatra
yes.
sir will speak later. Please, you speak.
Yes, sir.
That's all right. Am I audible to you, sir?
yes, sir, you are
Sir,
very
Yes,
much
sir.
on.
Yes, sir. You are
well and
audible,
loud,
sir.
sir.
Yes. There's some problem that Professor Das knows, and I have borrowed this Wi-Fi for this purpose. And I feel really very, very sorry to know that Professor Nayak is no more with us. 2 years back, just on the past day of the year, that means it is 2022, 21, I have been to Bhubaneswar and then I wanted to see my teacher. And when I made contact, he told me that, Rishi Vrindavan, you please come someday again. I'm not in a state to meet. I'm here. I'm here in the lower floor. My son would come and will take me. And I said, yes, all right, sir. I know it. I shall come again. I was in my vehicle. I was going somewhere. Every 5 minutes, every 5 minutes, he used to talk to me, asking me to come again, to come again. He was really, as Professor Das told, or Professor Maharana told, a brilliant career and a brilliant scholar in philosophy, and in Bristol University he had done his research work on reincarnation and all that. And in BA Sanskrita, he is a learned person in Sanskrit and he had stood fast. And then he continued his postgraduate in Allahabad University and stood fast gold medalist. And then he went to Bristol University to do his research work. He had written a number of books as described by Professor Maharana, a number of articles also, very, very, very thought-provoking and all that. I had taken his special paper when AJS and Wittgenstein's paper was combinedly taught in our batch, I mean 1972, it was divided, Wittgenstein and AJR. And I took AJR, for which another 4, 5, 6, 7 people offered. And I came in close contact with Professor Nayak. Professor Nayak as Professor Das said, was a very loving person. And his way of talking is very, very interesting and capturing. And while I was at UGS College, Satyopal, he had come from Jagannath University, where he was vice chancellor, and told me, why, Vrindavan, you are not completing your thesis? But he had not known that I was doing socialism knowledge after doing philosophy of education, concept of integration, which was a complete work. I'm sorry that I could not have brought that work to light in the form of a book. I was doing sociology of knowledge. Anyway, I was wanting to go to my teacher to talk this and that and many things. But I'm sorry that I could not. And I was also asked to come to his house, my professor, who's on the line, but I could not. People are going away. We will also go away. But I feel that everybody is here. Nobody goes. Nobody comes. Atma is pervading everywhere. I don't feel that somebody is going for all time. We must have to feel his presence if we believe in this principle, which is pervading everywhere, that is there in the Vedic literature texts. And I pray to God that let his soul live in the peaceful abode. That is my prayer to the supreme reality. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks so much, Professor Brindavan sir. Now I would like to request Professor Brindavan Mahapatra sir to have his prayer.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
First of all, I namaskar to all professors and philosophy lovers who are associated with this platform. Uh, I express my deep condolence and tribute to the departed soul. Kailash sir and Vrindavan sir have told many things regarding Professor Nayak. Really, he was a philosophy lover and lover of wisdom. What Prabhupada sir told, he was my professor during my study period at Badimir from 1981 to 1983. He has done many things for the development of philosophy department, and actually it is a great loss for the philosophy fraternity of the country and Odisha. His works will make him immortal. And I pray before Lord Jagannath to bear this sorrowful situation uh, at this juncture. However, he was a professor in philosophy and also vice chancellor of Sanskrit University. During my study period at Badimir, I have come, I have talked with many Professor Nayak with many times regarding the uh, philosophy about the philosophical discussions. However, I again express my tribute and condolence for this departed soul, and Lord pray Lord Jagannath, his soul remain rest in peace. Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath.
Okay, thanks so much, sir. Now I would like to request the senior most professor, senior most philosopher of our country, Professor Alok Tandon sir. Professor Alok Tandon sir, pranam. Professor Alok Tandon sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Audible.
sir.
Okay. Uh, This morning, when I opened my Facebook account, I found the first sad news uh, on the wall of Professor Ganesh Prasad that Professor Nayak is no more. So it came rather a shock to me because, and rather a regret also, when recently I was in Bhubaneswar, I inquired someone about Professor G.C. Naik. How is he? Where is he? How is he doing? Then I came to know that he is nearly 87 years of old and he is on sick bed. But still, I thought if I get an opportunity to meet him, that would have been a great meeting for me, but I could not. This sudden news of his death came to me rather as a shock and sent me to the memory lane because I was not much aware of Professor G.C. Naik's. I had known his, I heard his name, but I was not knowing him personally. But once, when my own guide, Professor H.N. Mishra, who was the professor and head of Nagarjuna University, he organized a big seminar. And in that seminar, people from north, from south, and from Orissa, everywhere they came. I think it was on meaning of life or something on Buddhism. So where there I met Professor G.C. Naik. And out of coincidence, it happened that most of the participants were going back every day to Hyderabad or Vijayawada. But Professor G.C. Naik was staying there in the, I think, with Professor S.N. Misra or nearby guest house. I don't remember well. And when he came to know that I have reviewed his book on essays book, and that too on many essays on science, then he took me along with me himself, and we went for long walks for 2 3 days. And that was the meeting of a giant, of a grade philosopher of the country. And I was very much surprised by his versatility, that he could talk about not Indian philosophy or not only Indian philosophy, Madhyamik Buddhism, he was an expert, but also about Western philosophy as well as science. And we discussed science and values, and we had a very, very long discussion. The evenings were very, the town was very empty, and we were just walking miles together. So then I came to know that I am with a great philosopher of the country, and that gave me many insights about the question of values and its relation with science. But also I developed a deep respect for him, and I found him very pleasing, very um, understanding, and for a person, for a student like me who was not even PhD at that time. So I still remember, and I feel that such personalities, like in our place, Dr. Devraj, or some other places, I have met some few Indian philosophers who were real philosophers in their spirit, not only in scholarship, but their approach to life, their living style. That was of a philosopher. Sometimes we think that some people may write poetry, but they are not poets because they do not live a life of a poet. But I found that Professor Naik, Professor Devraj, or some other people in our country who were very, very, you can say, embodiment of a philosopher, and they lived their philosophy, and their wisdom was very much reflected in the way they behaved with their, I think, ordinary scholars like me, junior scholars like me, and that gave us a lot of inspiration that such a life can be lived, that should be lived, that is the worth living life. They may not be having a lot of material success, but the insights, the knowledge, the wisdom which was reflecting in their scholarship, that was worth emulating. And I still remember that I think I had a second meeting, but that was not like that. So that meeting is still I remember, and I thank my professor and guide H.N. Mishra, and I pay my deeply felt tribute to Professor G.C. Nayak, and I really feel regret that I was in Bhubaneswar and I could not meet him. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much, Professor Alok Tondon, sir, for unfolding and reflecting upon and exploring so many unknown things on Professor Naik's Naik. Now, we would like to request Professor Abhinav sir to share his prayer and thoughts. Professor Abhinav. Abhinav sir.
छोटू देखो पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं सर, नाना जी पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं।
Thank you, sir. It is a great loss to me because I had a long association with him. Whenever I visited Indian Philosophical Congress and often Akhil Bharatiya Darshan Parishad, I happened to meet him, talk with him, read my paper in his chairpersonship, and often we have argued together on a particular points. He was a versatile genius, and above all, he was a great human being. I was the junior-most teacher that time, but his loving affection was with me. Only because we have shared our ideas together on a particular topic in different conferences and seminars. One of his good friend, Dr. Sajivan Prasad ji, was my teacher, and whenever we met in a conference, I found both of them talking in a very nice way, and they were very good friends. And I too was there only because I considered both as a teacher of philosophy, and I learned a lot of from him only because I, I think at least 20 to 25 uh, conferences, seminars, or symposium we were together. And often we have diverse of opinion. And finally, when the meeting was off, what did he say? It is really, he loved me a lot. He praised me at some places. I feel that his death, his sudden demise, is a personal loss to me. I pray God for his peaceful abode. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Okay, thanks so much, sir. Now, we'd like to request Professor Dr. K. Omnar Rao to reflect his prayer to the departed soul.
Namaskar, everybody. First of all, I would like to express my heartfelt reverences and tributes in honor of Professor G.C. Naik. It's a great loss to the philosophy fraternity, not only the state of Odisha, but for the entire nation. Hence, his contribution to philosophy is much known throughout the nation. Whenever people from other parts of the country come to Odisha, they inquire about Professor Naik. Well, um, I have never seen physically or never met Professor Naik, but still, I had the privilege to listen to his talk in Philosophy Family. He delivered 4 to 5 lectures in Philosophy Family at the age of 86, 87. It was really wonderful because at that age, he was trying to express things so philosophically under a certain model, under a thesis, and that gives lot of inspiration to any scholar, any thinker, any any scholar in philosophy, because at that age still he has a love for the subject, love for creating new vibes, new things. And I think Professor Nayak, because of his contribution to philosophy and his contribution to life, as I could know from the people that he was a great man. He had a lot of respect for everybody. He never used to talk roughly or insincerely, rudely. He was very polite to everybody, even to a peon in the department. So he was so down to earth person, because he had a respect for everything, every person, irrespective of what sort of cadre he belonged. Even Professor, even Dr. Alok Tandon, sir, expressed now that he was a research scholar during the time when Professor Nayak spent a lot of time during the conference expressing, sharing his views and having a debate with Dr. Tandon. So it was a great loss for everybody, but I still feel that DC Nayak sir is still with us, because I think his work, his style of living has inspired people throughout the nation, lovers of philosophy throughout the nation, and his works are still alive, and you can listen to Professor G.C. Naik through his work. So I say, even today, that we are having Professor G.C. Naik sir with us. He has a social immortality, and his work, his act will definitely be in our memory, and can never forget. And I say, because of his great deeds and his great contribution to philosophy, he has earned social immortality, and will be always there in our minds, and he will be always a source of inspiration to all of us. Namaskar. May his soul rest in
Okay,
peace.
thanks so much, Dr. Rao. Now, Professor Amita Balmiki is with us. She's the senior professor of her country. Now, we would like to request Professor Amita Balmiki, madam, to express her deep condolence for Professor Naik. Okay, Professor Amita Balmiki.
Uh, Thank you, Professor Morana. It is really sad when a philosopher is no more. It's a real blow to the world of ideology. And without ideology, the whole empirical world stops. We are all standing on these kind of ideologies came from stalwarts like Nayak sir. So it's a really big loss to philosophy fraternity and as such to humanity also. We cannot survive without philosophy. I'm really, it's heartfelt, my, condolences to Professor Nayak and his family, a stalwart in his own way, who has enriched us so much with high philosophy. God bless his soul too for eternal peace. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks so much, madam. Now, anybody would like to express their prayer to Professor Naik? Professor Tanmaya.
Professor Tanmaya.
Professor Tanmaya, I request him to express his deep sense of gratitude and condolence to Professor Naik. Tanmay sir, please unmute yourself. Tanmay sir, Professor Tanmay sir, please unmute yourself. Hello, Professor Tanmay sir, would you listen me?
Okay, Dr. Priyanka.
Okay, Dr. Priyanka.
Hello. Yeah.
Madam, you speak 2 words about Professor Jissim Naik, sir.
Good evening to all of you. Myself, Priyanka. That this is really a great loss. With this platform, I know about Dr. G.C. Nayak. but I am not familiar with him. But as per your condolence messages, it is that it is a great loss in the fraternity of the philosophy. So my heartfelt condolence tributes to Dr. G.C. Nayak. Om Shanti Shanti.
Okay, thanks so much. This is the end of the first session of our webinar, and it was the condolence meeting to Professor G.C. Naik. We extend our gratitude to all the professors, all the philosophers, those have expressed their prayer and nice words in memory of Professor Naik. Now, this is the second session where we have with us Dr.